Crafter's log from Amy's Haven. So I have here this quilt. I've been trying to dig out a few sort of Christmassy things. So I've gone through my quilts and pulled out this one. Now I used to have this quilt hanging 2 houses ago. I had it hanging on the wall all the time. And in fact, although I made it maybe 21 years ago or so, I have never tied it. And that's because I've always displayed it. I've never been willing to use it. I just loved it so much. So, and it's square, as you saw. I decided that this is the year I'm going to tie it. I'm not quilting it, I'm just tying it. I really like the look of that. And I made this, I cheated, I have to say. You can tell. I cheated by using fabrics all from the same designer. Ooh, my light's gone. I was depending on the afternoon sun. Hold on a moment. You have a look at that. While I see if I can improve the lighting. Here. Natural light is a problem. Okay, so I used all of the same designer, and you will never, I doubt you will ever find this again, although some of you with large stashes might. I can't even tell you what it was, who it was. And this, I made all of these, it's all the same fabric. So that's a really nice cheat, and I think it's really effective for some log cabins. It's a mottled, now this is really popular to dye your fabrics. Everybody's doing this to their cross stitch fabrics, dyeing them with tea and coffee and things. But this came like this. And I made this from a book. It was, I believe, the one and only quilting class I've ever taken. Where's my book? This is a much older version of it. In fact, even I think this was my mother's copy. She gave me this one and then bought the new one at the time, a long time ago. Quilt in a Day Log Cabin by Eleanor Burns. I'm sure there are plenty of these floating around, even if it's still not in print, I don't know. And perhaps she has come up with even better ways to make log cabins speedier and speedier. But this was fabulous and life-changing because of the way it was made. It's really made in a day. Well, it took me 2 days. I adjusted the width. I also adjusted the width of the logs and made extra. So in this one, if you can see how many squares there are, I have an extra layer, but they're thinner. I love log cabin. I just find it not only just really nice and traditional, but also easy to make. And you'll see that a lot of things that I do are the easier version of things to make. Speaking of which, I was going to put a simple border and then a dark grey and then another light grey border, but then when I did it with the dark grey, I really liked it like that. I still have to tie in some ends. I usually do them as I go, but I was in a position where I think I was in the car and didn't have my needle with me for a few rows. So I'm so excited about that one that I showed you last week. And this one I still haven't done my ends on this one. But I'm definitely enjoying it. It's really nice and soft. I'm doing things out of order. I was going to do some of the finished pieces, like the quilts, and then show you things that are in progress, and I don't feel that I could say that these 2 crocheted pieces are fully finished, but I think they're still works in progress. I didn't show you this last week. I made one of those hats for my daughter. It's fuzzy. I got this yarn from Aldi, and it has, you just sew across here to make a sort of an ear shape. It looks a bit big, but she has like afro hair. She has mixed race hair, and it's quite full at the moment, so it is a big hat for a small girl. And a matching scarf with pockets. She has kind of a thing against gloves. And here, although it gets cold in the UK, it doesn't always get cold enough to really need gloves, but that'll be handy, especially if we do get out and about. We are currently in lockdown, so I'm not sure how much we'll get out and about this year. But our cozy winter walks. So I pulled out of my blanket chest some of the bits and pieces that I've made over the years. I've made this as a table runner in the previous house, and usually I think this one I'll put on the coffee table. I like to change things around. I have the dresser in the kitchen, coffee table here. I have a sideboard in my upstairs hallway which acts as a linen chest, and well, it holds all of our towels and our toiletries because we have no bathroom storage. So this is actually a proper quilt. The other was very thin. It's just on some flannel. In fact, it was an old flannel blanket or something that I'd found and just recycled. This one, oh, I love the backing on this. You won't, but I don't know if you'll be able to find any of these things anymore. I made these so long ago. So that's actually a proper quilt, and I use that child minding. I quite often pop that on a toddler. But a winter, it just can sit on the back of a chair to be decorative. Again, another just runner, very simple strips. And the backing, if ever wanted a blue runner, I have that. Oh, I never thought about that actually. Do you think you could put that out in March for St. Patrick's Day? Is it too dark? Would that be nice? Back of the chair. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more into decorating for the holidays now, and I will explain as we go further into the video. People in the UK do decorate for holidays, but usually Christmas. And I get lots of complaints if I leave the Christmas wreath up too long. It's considered bad luck to have Christmas decorations up past 12th night. So I'm not sure where that came from, but because I don't believe in it, I don't worry about it too much. So we often take our tree down on 12th night, but I really like to have a wreath up a bit longer because it's just cheery to have one in the winter. Mine happens to have is white and green, so I think it's a really nice winter wreath. But yeah, so people here don't decorate as much for Easter, and they don't have Thanksgiving, so not much for harvest or anything like that. On Halloween, people are starting to do jack-o'-lanterns and things, but still not very popular. So I've got out of the habit, and especially moving several times, even the things that I used to have, I ended up donating as I declutter and things. So now that I'm settled in this house for a bit longer, I feel like I can take the time to do some more decorations. So I'm working on that, and I'll show you what I've been working on. If I can find all the things I've been working on. There we go. This is what I've been doing all day. I'll show you the pattern first. We're just mixing everything up Nothing's in order in terms of type of craft. Okay, here's a PDF pattern I bought off of Etsy. You seen it? Okay. It's called Christmas Sampler by Primitive Bettys. Primitive counted thread pattern, 151 by 130 stitches. So the recommended was cross-stitch linen fabric of your choice. Model was stitched on Weeks Dye Works 35 count straw linen. The threads from Gentle Art were Mulberry, Deep Forest, Picnic Basket, and Brook Path. So, and the direction was to use one thread over two. Now, I am new getting back into cross stitch. I showed you a bit of it last week. So I decided to do it on Ada just to get back into the swing of things. And I chose this pattern. I bought a few patterns. I chose this one in particular because it had lots of different elements to it that I could use, I could take out and use on smalls. So there's a peacock here that I haven't done yet. I've been working on this a lot today and I was hoping to finish it up. So there's lots of different elements, some words, some lovely trees and the deer. And I love the fact that it actually has a cross and the heart has a cross. I've made two mistakes actually. This heart is too long, but I kind of liked it anyway. And then this tree next to the peacock is also too tall. So it won't match the other tree, but we'll see if it looks terrible when I make the other one. I can take that out and adjust them. But so that's my work in progress so far. I think that I can finish that this week, and I can't decide whether it's going to be turned into a cushion or a picture. Now we're in lockdown and I don't know that I can access anything like frames just to test out what I'd like to do. Certainly can't go to a framer, but I couldn't afford one at this point anyway. So it would be a cheap frame, or what would be easier for me to do is to make it into a cushion or some sort of fabric finish. We'll see how that goes. So that's my Tidings of Comfort and Joy by Primitive Bettys. Now, with that one, I am planning, I took out some linen. Actually, I've got the linen and I picked out some other colors. Now, my colors, these ones happen to be just like an inexpensive pack of floss. I get quite a lot of materials and things for childminding because I look after kids of all ages and some of them are quite into sewing and crochet. But I get cheap packs and just put them in the box, and then the kids can have at it. They have boxes of fabric that they can use, felt that they can use of various qualities, so that when they do come up and use 10 pieces of felt for a project, then my budget doesn't get too squished. So let's see, my colors for my first one were something like this. This is sort of an orangey red. You're not going to be able to see that very well. A green and a sort of, what I would call pewter. Now I have no idea what these colors are because they just come from a cheap pack, but they're quite decent, you know. And so I chose some, I think I haven't fully decided which way I'm going. I have a few different browns so that I could sort of think browns, grey, not sure which way I'm going with this one, so that I can actually test or try doing the called for stitches on linen. So I'm very new at linen, so we'll have a go with that and see how that goes on a smaller bit. I think I can't decide whether I'm going to take the peacock or something with the deer and some trees. I think it will be a key and deer and trees, and maybe just do that in either those colors, or just do it all in green or all in red and make a small pillow to display. So we'll see how that goes. I've done a little bit more on my Irish one, which, and you can see how far that's going. It's only because I've been doing these others. I put this down. So this is me practicing stitching on the linen, and there's some places I really got in the flow with it. You know, my M is like really nice, even stitches. And, but I might have to go back and take out this and try again. Anyway, it's fun to experiment. And I think that that's one of the most important elements of it. And it's also why I don't necessarily spend a lot on things, because I don't have the budget, but also for me, sometimes it's just fun. I just want to see what I have and what I can make. I'm just making this up completely. I don't even know what I'm doing I'm going to put some shamrocks on there. I'm just going to get out the needle and thread. And there's a really great book called, is it called this? Taking Your Needle for a Walk. And it's just put some thread on a needle and just go for it. And I really think it's a beautiful exercise. So this is the other thing I was doing a lot this last week until I got my pattern. I've been doing this, and I can't show you the pattern. I'm making it up. And so I've been watching country stitchers. I've been watching a lot of different floss tubes this week, just to see, you know, which kind of people I like and what kind of patterns and things that I can sort of gel with. I happened to come across quite a few country stitchers videos, and one of my favorites was when Liz shows her smalls collection from her curio cabinet, and she showed these gorgeous hairs, and they are the hair and the animal hair, and they have patterns, and I think they're from La Di Da, and they're gorgeous. So she made 2 of them, which are patterns that are available. And she made a 3rd one of her own design. And I put them right on my wish list straight away. I'd like one of the hairs. And I decided I'd like to do one with a different design. So I'll just grab something just to demonstrate my idea. Anyway, okay, so I'll show you this in full later. So I'd like to do a design like this in blue and white, or maybe 2 shades of blue, but probably just 1 shade of blue and white, and then put it on the hair once I buy that pattern. And make that for my stepmother, who does blue and white all for Easter, the whole, you know, all our decorations and the dishes, blue and white, and everything. And I just think it would be gorgeous. And maybe I should do that for myself, but I do have to buy the pattern and do one of the other hairs. So I'll be doing that too. So I got to thinking how it would be really nice to have a cross stitch Father Christmas. So I'm picturing the hair on my dresser in the kitchen, trying to nestle it in amongst all the tins and things, because I don't have much kitchen storage. I actually only have 5 cupboards that came with the house. So I actually use the dresser for storage for actual, you know, tea and coffee and things. But I want to nestle that hair in there at Easter. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a Father Christmas as well? So I'm making a Father Christmas. I'm just making it as I go along. So the bottom bit is easy. I have some kind of thing to put at the bottom to do a sort of whitish color, and we'll make our way up. It will just be a bit of a primitive Father Christmas. I thought that this is what I would get done for today, by today, but then I got this, and I've just been doing that for days and days, and this, yeah, very excited. Anyway, so I'll work on that. My goal is to finish that by the 5th of December, so we could have it out. That's if I can push myself to do that, that would be great. Oh, it's getting darker and darker, isn't it? Hold on. See if I can improve that at all. I'm not sure. Okay. All sorts of things on the table in front of me. I'm trying different thimbles. I don't need thimbles for Ada, but for the linen I do, and I've been experimenting. I used to have this thimble, and it was a leather thimble, or maybe a fake leather thimble, and it was my favorite, and I lost it years ago, and I've never found one the same. And recently I purchased this one. It's huge. It's huge. I didn't necessarily want one. I wonder if I could just cut it. Maybe I could just cut it and then it would feel more comfortable. Because it's just at the point where you can't even like sort of bend your finger. Now I have big hands, big fingers. So it's hard for me to find thimbles. So I ordered one of those sort of sets where you get a whole bunch of different ones from Amazon. And I'm just going to see, I think that might be the winner, this style, because it was similar to, my leather one was like this. I'm going to keep looking. I've tried this one as well. And what I find is the needle wants to go here. I don't know. It must be just my style. I'm not sure. Anyway, trying different thimbles. And I have this, which is now, I guess, an antique needle case that belonged to my aunt. Some needle tatting. Oh my gosh. This is all the stuff that's like in my sewing jumble in front of me. Right. If you have any tips on not making a leather thimble, I prefer a fake one, maybe. But if you have any tips on that, please let me know where I could find a nice thimble. I've been using mostly the sticky ones that you stick on, and the reason for that is because I quite often like one on this, on the other hand. So I like the thimble to push and everything, but I like the thimble here because I often end up with quite a scratched up fingers over here sometimes, depending on how sharp my needle is. Okay, so I'm very excited about my new patch. Okay, what a difference a week makes. So I used to be, I'm not saying that I was the type of person who just did one project at a time, but I often did like one, maybe there'd be one cross stitchy kind of thing, and maybe one or two embroidery items, but maybe it would turn into like 5 or 6 that I sort of rejected some things or was playing around. Crochet, well, actually I have quite a few crochet things. Let's see what's in my knitting bag. All right, crochet and knitting, I have all sorts of things, and I've been really trying to finish up some of the hats and things lately. Been playing around with just making a doily kind of thing. Everything else great in there. What's happening in this one? I love this old bag, also belonged to my aunt. I had some leftover red after doing my this one. I had leftover red and green as it happened, so I started to make one. It starts off with a what does it start off with? I got some ideas off of YouTube videos, and I don't know, you know, just trying to use up the yarn really in a kind of useful way. And we like lots of little blankets around here because I feel like the living room especially gets cold. I have windows on this side and windows on this side, and a back door here, and then the door, and all UK houses are drafty. So I like to have little blankets, but also the toddlers I look after like them because they could wrap up the teddy bears and the stuffed animals in them, and I play with them in endless ways. So it's always handy to have small blankets around. And what else do I have here? I have my crochet bag. This is my crochet bag. Okay, I won't show you all this stuff I stuffed into my crochet bag. Oh my gosh, this is so fun because I should have looked at this ahead of time. Right, so I bought this little kit to make a wool felt embroidery kit pin cushion, which is just so cute. And I think it might be a bit big for this, but I'd really need an emery, you know, pin cushion instead. I'm thinking that might be too tall. It might seem a bit extravagant, but it might work. So I might do that, or I might just make this into a few small ones. This is expensive to buy. Anyway, so those are some projects to do at some point. I got some more different colored felts. Hot Toddy felt bundle, pastel and berry. So I mean the bundles were obviously put together by the shop. I got some fat quarters because, you know, every time you see a cream fat quarter you have to buy it. That's the rule. This one's nice. It has these hummingbirds. All right, let me show it that way. And loving blue at the moment. I did manage to get some of the Aldi fabric. I'm not that thrilled with, but I did get they're not plains because they're patterned, but I've been making masks out of some of these, and the novelty ones, I'll show you another time, but the Disney ones and Harry Potter ones are great for masks because they're not going to last forever anyway. We're washing them so often, but they're comfortable enough to wear. And I've got some ends. Oh, I'm seeing a project bag made out of this because I think that this is just, you know, an end piece. So I don't even know the length of it, but I don't necessarily see myself gathering lots of materials for a quilt at this point. But can you just imagine having this as your project bag that you use every day? I definitely believe in using beautiful things for that. Ooh, this is a pom-pom for a hat. I haven't shown you the hat yet. That's a pom-pom for the hat. Another end piece. Rose Vine Antique. Oh. Yeah. Fat quarters with little crosses, or put it that way, X's. Don't put it that way. DMC Acrew 8. Uh-oh. Okay, this is dangerous. I don't know where I got this. Maybe it was just Aldi or something. I don't know. Anyway, I have some rick-rack and some lovely lace. Oh, I put this on my housewife sewing roll. Okay, don't know how I ended up in this bag, but here we go. Ooh, another one. Oh, I can't show it to you. You can't see it very well. It's stars. It's cream with white stars. walk by neutrals, you know, you have to, every time you see cream, you have to buy it. That's the rule anyway. Oh, here's some of my masks that I made. So I made the ones recommended by Dartmouth. There's some really handy YouTube videos on the Dartmouth masks. Now these ones, to be honest, you know, after a while they're not as comfortable, they get a bit wet, but they're very comfortable because they don't go around your ears, they're tied on. And these ties are made with using an old t-shirt, and you cut a strip of the t-shirt and then you pull like this, and then it rolls up into a, like that, and it won't flatten. And I've since used this technique for a couple projects I'll show you another time probably. So I've made loads of the masks and been able to give them out and sort of sell them. People have been able to give me some money towards some of the materials within the village, and that's been really good. I'm gonna have a sip of my cup of coffee. Can you tell I'm definitely in a blue mood? And I found these gluten-free little biscuits, the ginger biscuits. Some of them are windmills. I can't find a windmill for you, but I'm so excited to find them gluten-free. This is not a craft item at all. I'm not even going to use it as a craft item. I'm not even going to turn it into something else. But this is from Asda. And it says, George Home, 3 Folky Animal tea towels. And I don't need any more tea towels. However, all my tea towels are really rather old and ratty. In fact, I was using a tea towel today and I was looking at it and it says Cambridge Botanic Gardens on it, first of all, which I have been there. But it's not my tea towel. It was a tea towel that when I arrived back in the UK, I moved back to the UK in 2001 and I lived on a family farm. And the tea towel was at the farmhouse. And I don't know how long the tea towel had been there before I arrived. So it could be anywhere between 20, 25, 30. I really don't know how old this tea towel is. And so that's the kind of thing I've been using. I also have lots of really nice tea towels, just like from IKEA. They're inexpensive, but you know, after a while they get grubby. And so I thought, oh, I'll treat myself. This is only £4. It was rather naughty, but I just love it. Just love it. And in fact, I'd be tempted to go back and get some more because I think they'll look nice in my kitchen. I'm just showing you some other things that I've bought lately. And when I say lately, I mean in the last 6 months. This I got as a glue gun accessory set, and it's just a stand for the glue gun. I had seen so many things on Pinterest on how to make one with wood and tiles and all that, and I don't have time for all that. So I thought I'll give that a go. And that might be soon, because now I have things I've been finishing. I bought this. This is definitely like Christmas decorations. They go in phases, don't they? This one has definitely been the style that's been popular in the last year or two. So I got that from Tesco's for £1.50. Is it £1.50? I think £1.50 or thereabouts. I just had to have her. I usually buy one, and I tell myself that I buy one ornament each year just to have a bit of a memory, and when I put them up I can sort of remember where I was living and that kind of thing. But it usually ends up being more like 2, 3, 5 and maybe 6, and then maybe in the after sales I'll go to the garden centres where they have them all inexpensively and then go buy another one that I really had been eyeing up. So this year I'm being a bit more strict about it, and we can't go out, so that's helping. Although the garden centres are open, and I did go to one the other day to buy some soil I needed for the cactus, and resisted all of the ornaments. It was so good. Okay, so oh, one more other thing. I had great plans to make a Christmas tree skirt. I had one and I stored it really badly. I had knit a green blanket many years ago, and it was just a blanket. It was just a knit blanket, and it was sort of stretchy, and I one year decided to just stick it under the tree as a Christmas tree skirt and just kind of bulk it around, and it was really effective, except I stored it really poorly. It ended up somewhere where it got that damp smell to it, and you can't do anything to really get rid of that. Unfortunately, you know, I know with other fabrics and things, I've tried vinegars and hot temperatures and everything you can think of, bleaching things, but this, I just thought, okay, well, it's time for this to go then. So I was going to make one, and I had plans to go to IKEA and get some of the linen that is really strong. It's thick and inexpensive. And since we're not going out, I just thought, let's not do that. Let's not spend too much more money. So I got this from, I was going to say Aldi, from Lidl. I got this from Lidl, and it was £4.99. And I thought I could use it as it is, or I could then make a strip of something and add it on. So this could be the base, and I have the right size and everything, and I have the grey, which was okay. I was going to do a different color later, but I think this will be good. It's quite trendy now. And then add a strip of something along here. I'm not that fond of the snowflakes. I do like snowflake things, but for some reason we'll see. We'll see how it looks when I put the tree up and then see what kinds of things I can come up with. It might be something that I use this as it is this year and then come up with something for next year to add to it. So yeah, to see how that goes. So I'm just checking all of the things. Okay, this is an old thing from IKEA. Just looking at my old. This is a laptop case. It makes a great project bag. I never put the laptop in it. And I don't like the project bags that have the zipper across here like this. Now, it's not to say I don't like the look of them. They look fine, and people are making really gorgeous designs with them. I just don't find them practical to have the zipper here. I like a zipper up here, or I'll show you soon some of the other project bags that I have that don't have any zipper. And anyway, yeah, I prefer it up here so that nothing gets jammed and stuck, and that's just me. Okay. So I got from the Bluebird Needleworks Birds and Acorns. This is off of Etsy. And again, I was just really inspired by Liz's video on all the smalls, and I thought, oh, this is a bit more manageable for me, time-wise and also space-wise. And so, let me just see. The directions. Overview: 6 colors of hand-dyed threads or 6 colors of DMC threads. There's full stitches, petite stitches, and long stitches. So there's a pin cushion, scissors case, horn book, thread organizer, and scissors fob. However, we can't get all of these things here very easily. So it's much more likely that my items are going to be, I think I would like to do this and put it on top of a box that I have. Just put it on the lid of a box and make that could be a cushion or pin cushion. And yeah, so I will very likely be putting them on different items than they have here, unless I'm very lucky and maybe get to the States and get the chance, or maybe make some of the, sometimes you can get some of these things here. So where is my, I got a needle minder recently. I wanted to show you last week, and there you go. I did buy one. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it might, oh, sorry, I need to turn it around. It's more decorative on that side. It's by a company called Trimit embroidery floss holder. I bought it off of Etsy. They had different patterns, but I don't know that they have anything like that large one. So, and I don't think I'm gonna get out to the shed and do anything like that anytime soon, because it's getting cold and frosty and not pleasant for that type of activity. So next, I had been eyeing up for only a few weeks now. I can't believe how much my life has changed in like literally a fortnight or slightly longer ago. I don't even know. I went on to Modern Folk Embroidery. Several people, I can't remember who, showed this gorgeous piece. And the reason why it's gorgeous is everything at Modern Folk Embroidery is absolutely gorgeous. And now Jacob he has been doing Flosstube, I think only for a few weeks, like 3 weeks, maybe. Yeah, about 3 weeks or so. So he started doing Flosstube, which is fun. But everything he does, everything he designs is gorgeous. However, the bit that I really liked about this one is a quote from Jane Austen, and it says, there is nothing like staying at home for real comfort. And being an introvert, I just really felt that really hit home with me. So, modernfolkembroidery.com. This cost me, I believe, £7. £7? I'll put the website below. And looking around the site, there's so many good ones. Oh, this is supposed to be done, the sample was done on 32 count linen. It's 193 stitches in height and width. I love square things. If you can see, I have a very square quilt, log cabin, and a very square. I made this, my Afghan, into a square as well. So it measures 12 by 12. So he's done 5 to 6 skeins of Modern Folk embroidery wool, or 3 to 4 cards of Retour du Nord embroidery floss by Maison Chajou. Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to do that, and this is a project for definitely the new year, because I need to work my way up to doing. I want to see how many it is, what stitches. Anyway, so I need to work my way up to something like that. And I have other projects to do in the meantime. So this is a really lovely one. I can't remember if this one was £1.50 or £2.50. God Jul, which means good Yule. And this he also did in his wool. So I like that. I think, as I said, I can't remember if it's £1.50 or £2.50 PDF. I'm very excited about that. And again, I need to figure out how I'm going to do that, whether I'm going to try to work out how to do that on linen, or just use some Ada that might be smaller. I don't know, we'll see. And this one, now this came from a Mystery Stitchalong he did from 2019, and this happens to be called Hope. a year of stitching together. It was part 12 December. So this was December, but I liked it because of the bird and the heart. And if you look, I mean, these sort of look like 4-leaf clover. So I was thinking, even though he's made it for December, I was thinking of making it, either doing it in red, and then I can put it out as a small for December and February, or doing it in green and putting it out as a small for December and March for St. Patrick's Day. So that's another one. So actually, I think this one was £1.50 because to buy the whole set, you know, wasn't very much. And then I think this one was £2.50. And he has about 3 free patterns as well that you can download. I didn't download any of those today. Okay, so those are those 3. I'm very excited, but I'm also very nervous. I'm also very nervous about doing the smaller stitches, which is why I have chosen such small projects to start with, to ease my way into it and see how that goes. And one reason being, these are actually my old glasses. My new glasses are broken and need a repair, and it's hard to get out these days to do that. So I'm wearing my old glasses. So I'm really struggling with the light. Ooh, the sun has come back. I'm struggling with the light and being able to see my stitches lately. So I've been really glad to be swapping to the Aida fabric for my tidings of comfort and joy, because it's been slightly easier to do this one. And in fact, this was very easy because I did choose to use Aida on this one because it's a full coverage and it's going to be turned into a doll basically. You're not going to see anything in the background, and I do think this is bright white, so I imagine I'm going to I might benefit from dyeing this. Just depends on what comes through. We'll see what happens when I get to the end of that, and then I'll have to search through and see what kind of backing I might want on it. I don't know if I might want, could use that, or something more red or green. And this one too, I was thinking, I really liked this color to begin with, but I've chosen some bright, this is a sort of an orangey red. I thought it would make it look quite rustic, and it does, but I think that I might also want to do a coffee dye or something like that on it. Not sure. I just love all the little, they're quite simple. All the different patterns on it, they're quite simple. These are also holly going down the side, and then there's another border, I think. But I'll be happy with those. Okay, so I've done what I'm working on, and I've done all the things I bought, which is, to be fair, is a few months worth of purchases. Unfortunately, you won't see many more purchases. So, one last thing to show. One last thing. If I can find it. I got some post the other day. So, I have signed up for the book Club Stitchalong Christmas Carol from SapphireMtHandcrafts on Etsy and Facebook and Instagram, or one of those. And so I got these flosses from my local shop when I did click and collect. I could do it at my local stitch shop. I like the fact that I do have a local shop, but it doesn't have a lot of things for what I need. It just has some of the basic Aida, and it has some really nice yarns. It's really nice fabric, and it has the basic DMCs. But no shop in this country had these colors, which my mother sent me from Vermont. And if you look at her fantastic Catholic schoolgirl handwriting, which is so neat and absolutely perfect. Enjoy your project and don't forget to send me a picture of it when finished. Love, Mom. And so she taped them there so that they wouldn't wiggle around in the envelope. So, thank you, Mom. I now have all the colors. And I have the cloth, and I can get that kitted up. I do not have the pattern. It's going to start the 5th of December, so it's not too late to join in. And I think I might have a friend or two from here who might do it as well, so that's kind of fun. And yeah, I think that's all I have for today. I really need to, while we still have some sunlight, I need to get out in the garden and do a bit more tidying up before winter really comes, because it's silly to still be doing gardening work in November. And the reason I still have things out there to do is because I've been yeah, so yeah, busy. Thanks for watching.